The forebears, through song, envisage the Africa they want. Enoch Sontonga's musical masterpiece would become an anthem for many countries in the South. It was in the same vein those who followed emphasized the need to have a foreign policy with a pan-African and global outlook.
We have triumphed in the effort to implant hope in the breasts of the millions of our people. We enter into a covenant that we shall build a society in which all South Africans, both black and white, will be able to walk tall without any fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world.
South Africa's first democratically elected president, Nelson Mandela, speaking to the nation and the world at large in 1994. He was clear that the country's foreign policy would be anchored on a number of values like global peace, respect for human rights and promotion of democracy. Mandela was grateful to the world for the solidarity that was one of the effective pillars in the fight against apartheid.
We, the people of South Africa, feel fulfilled that humanity has taken us back into its bosom, that we, who were outlaws not so long ago, have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country. What is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. We trust that you will continue to stand by us as we tackle the challenges of building peace, prosperity, non-sexism, non-racialism, and democracy.
Even before former President Mbeki took over as the president, African Renaissance and rebuilding South Africa's image abroad dominated.
I am an African. I owe my being to the hills and the valleys, the mountains and the glades, the rivers, the deserts, the trees, the flowers, the seas, and the ever-changing seasons that define the face of our native land. My body has frozen in our frosts and in our latter-day snows. It has thawed in the warmth of our sunshine and melted in the heat of the midday sun. The crack and the rumble of the summer thunders, lashed by startling lightning, have been a cause both of trembling and of hope.
Mbeki's administration steered several initiatives to stabilize the African continent and push for the country to be part of a number of influential global bodies like the G8 at the time, G20 and others.
Set concrete goals and targets for the realization of these objectives and agreed to implementation and monitoring processes that will ensure that all of us respect the global agreements into which we must enter.
Former President Jacob Zuma was instrumental in pushing for South Africa to join the BRICS bloc. The group is made up of influential economies like China, Russia, India and others.
No one would have a difficulty when you say South Africa begins to work with countries that have got such huge possibilities. We are looking at South African companies taking advantage of this. There is no other bigger advantage like this one.
Pretoria also punched above its weight as it sought development and reached out to global partners.
As you know, almost all the BRICS countries have this gap between the rich and poor, which all of us must work together, use our combined coordination and cooperation for prosperity.
As the world is facing ferocious conflicts in Ukraine, Sudan and Gaza, President Ramaphosa has been vocal, calling for peace. Ramaphosa and other African leaders led the Africa Peace Mission to Ukraine.
This is indeed a historic mission in a quest for peace. And I could say that our mission really revolves around 10 key elements. The first one is that we are here to listen both to President Zelensky, and tomorrow we'll be listening to President Putin. And we do so with deep respect for the people of Ukraine, which we have expressed to President Zelensky.
The African leaders then headed to Russia.
We are a 7 African nations peace initiative, and we are essentially on a peace mission to try and promote peace between Russia and Ukraine in this conflict. We have some 7 points or 10 points that we would like to raise. Our proposal really revolves around 10 elements. The first, of course, is that we want to listen.
Under Ramaphosa's administration, South Africa took Israel to the International Court of Justice as the conflict escalated in Gaza. The World Court called on Israel to prevent genocidal acts in the Gaza Strip after Israel embarked on a war against Hamas following the 7th October attack.
The ICJ, as the principal judicial organ of the United Nations, has handed down a ruling that the State of Israel should immediately implement a set of provisional measures to prevent any further acts of genocide in Gaza, and to desist from such acts and to take effective measures to prevent the destruction and ensure the preservation of evidence relating to acts of genocide.
Give a thought to Africa, neath the burning sun.
Now the question is, what will happen after the May 29 elections? If the ANC retains its position as a governing party, continuity will prevail to cement South-to-South ties. But if there is change, the new government may reach out to new partners across the globe and reshape South Africa's foreign policy. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.